Joel, so there's no reason that the SEC should or will change, which means everyone else has to change. When the Big Ten first went to divisions, as we all know, it was leaders and legends, and it was two balanced divisions. We could go back to leaders and legends. We might have to call it something else. And if you just split up Rutgers and Maryland as the 13th and 14th school, it would balance the divisions off. Still play 9 games. Still, if you don't want to play FCS, so that would be a reaction to the fact that we know Alabama and the SEC is not going to change. We have to stop complaining about what we can't control and look at ourselves and see what we can control. We still can make the same amount of money, but if we balance the divisions, we don't have a Penn State sitting in the East with 3 divisional losses. And that's going to happen to the other powers in the East. So the leaders and legends is a bad name, but it was a great idea. And if we're going to stay with 9 games and no FCS, I suggest we return to balanced divisions.
Or Coach, I wouldn't be opposed to getting rid of divisions altogether and playing some sort of round robin that's not holistically round robin, and then maintaining your one rival that you play every single year. I think that works out as well. And I think that starts to balance the schedule in every one of these leagues. And I think it would help out in the Pac-12 this year. I think what the Big 12 does right now with their 10 teams is actually very strong, and it provides them a great argument for inclusion into the college football playoff. But you're exactly right. If the SEC is not going to change, and I don't believe that they will, I think it's incumbent on everybody else to change as well. Here's the change I don't want to see. The change I don't want to see is all these teams saying to themselves, well, we're not going to play anybody either, because it doesn't hurt them and they're still included. And so we're going to go schedule all these soft opponents, and we're going to get rid of all these intra-Power 5 games that we've scheduled in the non-conference. I think that's the fear that I have, is that the scheduling is going to take a little bit of a nosedive because the committee has not done its job in terms of making those games relevant in the committee room when it counts. For instance, last year, you can't tell me that the loss against Iowa is what prevented Ohio State from going to the college football playoff. What prevented Ohio State from going to the college football playoff last year was the fact that they scheduled Oklahoma and not the Citadel. If they would have played the Citadel in that week, beaten them, and had the same loss to Iowa, they would have had the comparable record and gone on the fact that they were a conference champion. So right now, the committee is doing exactly what it was never intended to do, which was give a pass to teams that aren't playing anybody in the non-conference or not playing a schedule makeup that's as difficult as what we see in the Big Ten and the Pac-12.